All right, good morning. Got my booster shot yesterday, my flu shot today. I got all kinds of liquids in my body now, so should be good to go for a little while anyway.
You have a sore arm tomorrow if you try to throw a football.
Yeah, one on each arm. I'm good. So,
You got a shot of Jaeger too?
pardon me?
A shot of Jägermeister too?
No, that's later. So Carolina, very, very good team. Fast, physical, aggressive on defense, lots of pressure. Corners play tight on the wide receivers. They do a good job of getting up the field and attacking. Do a good job on special teams offensively, with McCaffrey back. He's a terrific runner, both in and out of the backfield, catching passes and running. Got good receivers in Robbie Anderson and Moore. Give you a lot of different looks. So we got to have a really good day of preparation today and tomorrow and Friday and get ready to go play.
Mike, what's different about Sam Darnold from when you saw him in 2018?
I guess the biggest thing is I think he looks more comfortable in what he's doing. He was a pretty young guy then.
What were the Cowboys able to do differently than all the other rushing offenses against Carolina?
They hit some big runs on him. Just got some seams and hit some big runs.
Mike, do you see a run defense?
Quarterback scrambled a few times.
Do you see a run defense improving? I mean, I know you want to type it up there a little bit. You see it?
Yeah, it's like I said the other day, we had a couple misfits early in the game. Guys thought they could run through and make it. We couldn't get that, but I think there's some good things that are going on.
With the defense improvement in general, is that something where, because you had so many new starters, you think it took some time to gel, or just the way that things kind of have gone?
It might have been a little of both. We played a lot of good quarterbacks early, and then trying to understand, what we're trying to do. I don't know really, but I like where we're going.
Barr said he felt like his body was going to explode a few times during the game. On film, did he look rusty at all, or?
No, not really. He looked pretty much like himself.
Like if you're giving up a few yards on the ground, but the pass defense is good, points against is good, is that something that you can live with?
Well, the points is the most important thing. We've been good on third downs. They've had some earned first downs in the running game. So, but yeah, we want to get better at that too. I mean, I think we've come down statistically as far as, total yards quite a bit in the last few weeks. And some of it, I know I'm just trying to think back. I think maybe, quarterback scrambles hurt some of those yardage things, but, that's every year. So, we just keep trying to get better.
Mike, how's Udo looking? I know you've been trying to get some stability at right guard for a while.
Yeah, he's done good in a lot of things. He's got there's these hiccups he has once in a while. Gets his hands out wide. He's got to keep working on getting his hands back inside. But I think he's getting more comfortable being in there.
Is that natural moving from tackle to that your arms have to be in more? Or?
No, he just has a habit of keeping his hands outside. But he needs to, it's just, I think sometimes tackles you get away with a little bit more.
Has his communication with O'Neal and Bradbury been where you want it to be?
Yeah, it's been good. Sometimes, when you get different fronts and guys move late, then it looks like they made a mistake, but they had already made their decision and, and then they didn't react to the whatever movement that they got.
Mike, have you been able to pinpoint some of the issues the offense is having, finding its rhythm in the second half?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I've pinpointed it, but we've researched it an awful lot. We went through every possession in the second half. We've gone through down and distance tendencies, first in possession, earn first down, second down and long, after a penalty, after a sack. I gave the coaches a lot of projects to do this week on Monday. And I think probably being a little bit more specific coming out of halftime instead of saying, hey, these are the plays that we're thinking about running, and be, all right, here's what we're going to run. This is the first play, here's the second play, here's the third play, and we go from there.
Is it almost like a self-scout that you might do during a bye week?
Yeah, we just did a little bit early. I just felt like, it was important to figure out what's going on here.
You mentioned the shifting defensive fronts being kind of an issue, like right before the snap a couple of times now. Is that one of the risks of having a motion-heavy offense? Is it something that is just happening more often on defense now?
Well, sometimes when you're running, the jets and things like that, the defense is going to move, and you're not necessarily sure exactly how they're going to move. And so, to your question, probably the answer is yes.
What have you seen from the Panthers defense in their second year kind of together? What makes them tough on third downs?
Well, they're very fast. A lot of different pressure packages, a lot of guys coming from different places. They got two great edge rushers that really rush, and other guys that push the pocket. Plus, their corners play really tight. It's a lot of single high. It's a lot of man to man. But the corners have a lot of belief that they can cover anybody, and they're not going to get run by.
Mike, with McCaffrey and the ways they use him, the way they move him around, what kind of challenges does that create as opposed to kind of your standard issue running back that is mostly in the backfield?
Yeah, well, he's so good coming out of the backfield in the passing game. The running game is the running game, really. But the passing game, trying to get him covered with one linebacker, when you're cheating coverages one way or the other, and he's on the back side of the coverage, that could be an issue. He's a really good screen runner. Runs routes really good. Very similar to some of the backs that have had a lot of catches. You have to pay special attention to him, and you have to have some game plans for him.
Mike, what stood out to you about Darisaw in run blocking the other day?
I think the biggest thing was, his athleticism. He could get to the backside guy and cut him off. He can get to the backside linebacker. Just the quickness that he has.
Is it pretty helpful to get some real game tape on him now versus just practice?
Yeah, we'll get some more this week probably.
Do you foresee a similar plan with him to rotate him in this week?
We'll just see how the week goes and then make a decision on Friday.
With your defense and the results in the second half being, so much better, would you say you've made a fair amount of halftime adjustments, or is a lot of that just guys getting in a rhythm, game flow?
Well, honestly, we're making adjustments like all the time. This happens, and we're on the sideline, we do that, and then, at halftime we come in and talk about, what. But it's 12 minutes. I mean, it's not like you can write a book. It goes really, really fast, and so, we have a process that we go through at halftime, and then, we talk about it. I try to tell them the things that we're going to call, the plays that we have to defend better, kind of go that way. But honestly, it happens throughout the whole course of the game, even in the third quarter, fourth quarter.
Mike, going back to Carolina's defense, they obviously drafted all 7 players last year, all 7 picks on defense. Have you ever seen that before, where they spend the entire class on one side of the ball?
Yeah, I don't think I have. I've seen multiple players at one position, but I don't remember seeing the entire draft class like that. But I don't know. I don't study it that hard.
Is that your ideal draft, all defensive players?
No, my ideal draft is all good players.
All corners.
Not all corners.
Mike,
Not all corners. Pass rushers.
is it getting harder to defend a team when they need about 40 yards for a 50-yard field goal? It seems like we're seeing it every week. You guys benefited from it. What can defenses do? First of all, is it getting harder, and then what can defenses do to kind of change things up?
Yeah, I do think it's harder. There's, when they're on the ball, the communication, making sure everybody understands. Sometimes guys get in a 2-minute drill and they like, all right, well, let's not give them a touchdown. Let's, instead of, like there was a situation the other day, it was 3rd and 9 or something, and we played a little not as aggressive as we should have been, and they got the first down. So that, there's a bunch of times when, I think guys get it in their mind that, hey, we just don't get beat deep and we win the game, and consequently, even though you're throwing, if you don't get to the quarterback, then you have a chance to give up some plays.
Do you dare blitz in a situation at the end of a game like that?
We did it at Arizona. We 0 blitzed, and he hit that one down the pipe. So I've blitzed several times. We blitzed one time. We played Roethlisberger. We blitzed 4 straight times. So it just depends on the guy you're playing, the situation, really everything.
Time for 2 more. Mike, when you think about the improvements you wanted to see this year on special teams, do you think you've seen that? Are you satisfied with the progress there?
I think we're improving. We've been getting some runs. We've protected the punt well. I still think there's some areas. I don't know that we're winning or losing in any of those areas, but I don't see us getting beaten in those areas right now. So, but there's still some things that we can do better.
Carolina seems to run their nose tackle at a tilt. What does a tilted nose tackle do for a defense?
I just got to ask that question a minute ago. We used to do that. So really, if the guy is tilted, so like if that's the center and I'm the nose tackle and I'm tilted, he's not able to reach me. And if he goes away, then I can come off his rear end and flatten down and get down to make the play. But it's a chance to get to attack the center and kind of work that way. And typically they don't get reached. And if the center leaves, then he comes off his rear end and the guard can't get him.